Hey, what's up, folks? It's Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is a special one because we're going to be breaking down the 2023 roadmap that was just released this past week. So there's a lot to unpack in that roadmap, a lot of big updates. We're going to be combing through the feed as we always do. I'll be giving you every single update of this past week that's relevant to you and Jasmy. From there, we'll be taking a look at the chart of Jasmy, as well as I'll be cruising over to the Bitcoin chart, let you know what I see coming for this market. And then finally, we'll wrap up today's video with some final thoughts on that 2023 roadmap. So stick around for that. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, what is up, everybody? Glad to be back with you on this action-packed edition of the Jasmy Weekly Update. So we'll be talking about the roadmap in just a few minutes, but wanted to kick it off right here with a post about Bitcoin. So this was shortly after my video I posted last week, this is the following day, that essentially the last 3 weeks since January 7th have had some big-time Bitcoin investment, evidenced by the green wave and the market cipher B. This is what's driving the market turnaround. So I wanted to show you all what I was talking about here. So the market cipher B is this indicator here at the bottom. And you can see where we went above baseline, right about there. And this green wave here, that's money inflow into Bitcoin. So that's very bullish, having all that money inflow, because look, you know, kind of behind that. It was a lot of red, a lot of money outflow for the tail end of last year. So big turnaround there. That is what is really driving the market right now. Now, here was a post I also did on the 29th regarding Jasmy. So I said, Jasmy posting a green dot in the market cipher B, RSI looking to rebound. I talked about this in yesterday's video. So at the time, this was the 29th. So, you know, roughly, what's that, 5-6 days ago, 7 days ago. We had this green dot right here. Usually whenever you see a green dot in the market cipher B, that means that we've got a little more momentum carrying us here. And I was following these basic trend lines up above. This thing here that I've got on is the Fibonacci, and then these lines are the estimated moving averages that are trying to go bull right now. So we're going to be taking a look at the chart here in a minute, but wanted to show that recap right now. Now, moving on up from there, if we scroll on up a little further, I did a lot of chart posting. I have this one from Jasmy US. I'm confident Jasmy will not be under a penny for long. He's been posting some pretty neat images. If you're not following Jasmy US, definitely give him a follow. A lot of good info coming there from his channel. Here was one that I saw somebody else had posted on. I thought this was really good. It was a post by CZ where he says, just completed a seminar session for Hitotsubashi Business School ICS. Hitotsubashi. I know I'm butchering that, but whatever. One of the best business schools in Japan. Very engaging audience. Education, right? So thought this was totally awesome that he posted this. There he is right up there is CZ, and then all of the business school students. It's just kind of showing, you know, that he was their guest speaker here, co-founder and CEO of Binance. So thought that was really cool and really kind of timely, because we've been talking about this a lot, that the Japanese market has really kind of been coming back to life in terms of crypto. And this is yet another example of it. There's CZ talking to business students in Japan. So thought that was awesome. Now, we actually had a couple of new exchange listings this past week. This was one of them, Bing X. So new listing. Jasmy is now live for trading on Bing X futures with up to 50x leverage at Bing X. All right. Moving on up from there, Lil Bidman found a great post where he says, you know, a lot of new info on what Jasmy is planning, especially around authentication, education, how blockchain can be used by kids. And I kind of commented on there that in the article, Sato talks about a new use case, kids using the PDL to access the network whether it be the internet or a grade portal. So this was a really cool little article, kind of a totally different use case that we really haven't seen yet, where we're talking about using the personal data locker with kids as sort of a gateway to information, right? So thought that was really neat. That's the first time I've seen that mention the PDL with kids. Going on up from there, let's see here. Jasmy chart as I currently see it. This was on February 1st. So again, still kind of following the trend lines. Chart was still looking pretty good overall. And we'll, like I said, we'll look at the chart in a minute. Jasmy US noted, first green monthly Jasmy close in 6 months. My bags are loaded, right? So hopefully your bags are loaded too. Now, here's the thing that we've all been waiting for. This is kind of like the big topic of the video, is the 2023 roadmap. Okay, so when we've been on our Jasmy Spaces calls, we've been talking about this roadmap for quite a while now that we'd like to see that. Somebody had brought up, I think either on one of the calls or somewhere else, that the last roadmap they posted for 2022, they posted it in February. And so we were kind of hoping that this one was coming, and we actually got some confirmation that it looked like it was right around the corner. And here it is. So here's the roadmap. 2023. Fan tokens. So update content and develop platform. So this is the fan token app currently only for Saganto-su, the soccer or football team out of Japan. They're the ones using the fan token, but basically they're looking to update that content and develop the platform further. Now, the way I read that is updating the content could be for Saganto-su. Developing the platform could be rolling this out into additional sporting teams, such as the Nippon Ham Fighters, right? I think they would be an obvious next choice that could be coming around the corner. Now, also in the first quarter of 2023, we've got the release of the English version of Secure PC that is also integrated with Avita. So Avita is the PC manufacturer that's based out of India. They're trying to get a footprint there, get some market share, roll out Secure PC English into India. That's a really big deal. For some awareness on this, even here in the US and corporate America, there are numerous really, really large companies that do not have the ability to real-time monitor a desktop. And that's kind of what this comes down to. You're real-time monitoring a desktop of a remote worker. You're storing that information through the Ghost Drive. You're storing it securely, and then you're getting inferences from it with AI, right? So that's kind of the whole Secure PC idea. And even here in America, we don't have that across the board. If you're not working in one of these companies, it's probably easy to assume that, oh yeah, probably everybody has something for this. No, they actually don't. So something like Secure PC is a genius idea. And if they can prove that it works throughout Asia, if they can develop it further with Avita, it could be included in the various Avita laptops. Part of the KPIs is 107 million users. This all kind of ties together. And you can see where Secure PC English is a really big deal. And that's on top of, they're now on the Secure PC 2.0, right? Now, PDL. So this is a big one. Develop the AI engine. So this really, this bullet point tells you how far ahead of schedule we are, right? Develop the AI engine. So that means that they've probably been working on this for quite a long time, and they're still working on it, is what they're telling us, right? So they need to further develop the AI engine. The AI, as I said, everything with Jasmy, it all comes down to what are they selling? They're selling platinum data. Well, what makes it platinum data? What makes it platinum data is the inferences provided by Edge AI. And so what they're saying here is they need further development on the AI to really get the most they can out of platinum data, right? So we've known all along with the token release schedule that we're ahead of schedule due to the market maker moving faster than they wanted. Hara has shared as much in a couple of different AMAs that the market maker released the coins ahead of their original projections. Because of that, I think the coins have been released ahead of the development of the AI engine. So here it is right here in the first quarter. It also shows up in the second quarter, right? Now, after that, for the community, launch of the Jasmy grant. I have no idea what this means. This could mean the launch to incentivize developers. It could be to incentivize influencers. It could be for promotional staking opportunities on various platforms. It could be all of those things, really. Anybody's best guess right now. But the neat thing here is that they are looking at that and they are going to launch something. So that's super awesome, because to date, they really haven't had any kind of a community grant anywhere. And to put something like this in perspective to other coins that are out there, there's numerous other projects that do have grants that incentivize the community, right? So, another project that I follow is Kadena, the Kadena blockchain. KDA is the symbol. In that one, they have the, I think it's Kadena Eco, I want to say is what they call it. And it's basically the same concept, right? So you're incentivizing a team to spread the word about Jasmy, to further develop it, to figure out new use cases. There's all kinds of different directions you can go with a community grant. And so it's one of those building blocks, a stepping stone of every successful blockchain project. And here it is in the first quarter of our roadmap. So I think that's really important. All right. Next, second quarter, 2023. So on the fan token again, organize Fan Appreciation Day event. So that's a promotional event, and implement in-app purchase function. Interesting. In-app purchase function. So, part of the way the Sagan Tosu fan token app works is you're providing data to them, platinum data, right? You're answering questions, you're answering survey questions, you're providing information. Well, this is saying that we are going to basically expand that app a little bit further for in-app purchase function. So perhaps you could level up your NFT even further by making purchases through the app. So when you think about the business partnership between Jasmy and, in this case, Sagan Tosu, this makes a ton of sense, because this is yet another way for Sagan Tosu to sell potentially merchandise, opportunities, tickets, you name it. I mean, you could sell all kinds of things through the app, right? So that's really cool that they're working on that also. Now, under PF development, so we've got Decide Carbon Credit Consortium specifications. So this was, announced only, like a month or two ago, I want to say, was the National Carbon Credit Consortium, right? So it's a partnership with Jasmy, numerous local governments. There's also numerous other players. It's a green initiative in Japan. And so Decide Carbon Credit Consortium specifications. So this tells me that they made the announcement, right? They made the press release, hey, we're going to do it. Well, this is them actually working on it and further developing out that whole project. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot that goes into that, especially because of all the different partners that are involved, right? Next, quarter three, for the fan token, release platform mutual support function. So yet another expansion of the platform. That makes a lot of sense. For the PDL, conduct data marketing verification. Interesting. So that almost sounds to me like kind of like an audit, like they want to audit the information that's in the PDL. So we'll see what comes of that. And then we have the further development of the Carbon Credit Consortium. Quarter four, again, fan token, develop Jasmy coin investment function in the fan token. That's really interesting also. So, there's a lot of expansion that they're looking at doing over the course of this year for the fan token app. So that could get really interesting, because DD points, aka DD coin, is supposed to be interchangeable with Jasmy, right? So if you earn your DD points by answering questions in the app, right? Can you then earn Jasmy and have some sort of an investment function? That's kind of how that reads to me. So very curious to see what happens there. I want to see what that investment function looks like. Because again, a lot of people that don't really fully understand crypto, let's say, have been asking about staking, right? Staking. Why isn't there Jasmy staking? Where can I find Jasmy staking? Well, really, the only staking opportunities with Jasmy have been through promotions, primarily on Binance, as well as maybe a couple other platforms have done some promotions. But staking is really a way of it's a deflationary mechanism essentially, and different projects have different deflationary mechanisms. Jasmy, the deflationary mechanism here with Jasmy is that businesses, as part of the ecosystem, should lock up coins. This is their projection. They want 35 billion out of the 50 billion locked up by businesses. Because you have that as your way of deflationary mechanism, you really don't need staking. So staking is not a critical part of the infrastructure of the coin, but where it can come into play is in promotions, right? So we may have more to come here on a staking front from a promotional aspect, right? Now, this is absolutely huge here for the PDL Q4. Start data value exchange. That tells me that if they're looking to start it Q4, this is where the businesses could start coming on board. Because once we have a data value exchange, that means that we've got an exchange of data, right? Everybody's data, essentially. And then you could have different businesses vying for that data. This is where the businesses come into play. This is the whole point of this project, right? This is how early we are. We're still so early. And so that's when the exchange goes live. That's when the businesses can start working towards that data. So really awesome, and it's also kind of cool here too that they noted, to be continued, right? So we did have some posts here from Hara that went along with this. So I kind of want to read these as well, where he says, Secure PC is currently used by dozens of national companies as a business-to-business service. That's a big deal right there, just in that statement alone. Dozens of national companies. We are preparing to release an English version and mass produce BC embedded PCs for the Asian region, specifically Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, India, etc., and are currently applying for EULAs in there. All right. So that's a really big statement right there, because he's saying we have multiple businesses that are already using this, and here's the specific markets that we are now targeting. Now, one curious omission here is China. So China in the past, Jasmy was looking at expanding into. There's multiple AMAs in China. By all accounts, look like they really want to get into China. I'm assuming they probably still do. However, the current business climate really isn't good, specifically between Japan and China, because Japan is tightly aligning with the US, with the UK, and they're sort of at odds right now with China, right? So I know, I think I had read the other day about the chip manufacturing, that the US had some sort of deal with Japan not to send those chips to China, right? So we'll see what happens there, whether Jasmy ultimately goes into China or not. I would imagine that in the future they probably will, but right now the timing doesn't really work. So it's interesting that they're focusing on Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, India. These are all still major markets for Jasmy. Now, the next one, Hara talked about the fan token as an important app for utilizing your data in a fun way. We hope to add Sagantosu's completely unique content and offer a new way for fans to enjoy the app. Now that rights management has been organized, we aim to attract more users by adding attractive contents. So that's that expansion of the fan token platform that they're going to be doing all throughout the year of 2023. Hara then mentions the carbon credit consortium. We believe that entering the carbon credit market is very challenging and significant, right? Blockchain technology is well suited for the proper management of emission credits, and we, Jasmy, is already playing an important role in the consortium with its proprietary technology. So I agree 100%. You're talking about storing data, storing it on blockchain, storing it securely, decentralized, AI inferences, yada, yada, yada. It makes perfect sense, honestly, the further you go down the rabbit hole with it. And then lastly, Hara said here, our proprietary AI engine is also developing well. In partnership with travel agencies, so this is the Nippon Travel Agency in particular, but it could be even more because he's saying travel agencies, plural, right? We are building a system that can analyze data of user interest and reward themselves. Naturally, the most important thing is that the data be of high value, so we continue to focus on it. And I kind of view that in alignment with the Happiness Project and the culture of Japan. I can kind of see where those are lining up together, right? So pretty awesome overall in terms of this roadmap. I'm really glad they finally put it out there. And we've been looking for it for quite a while. I was looking for some specific information, and that's exactly what Hara released here. There's very specific information in terms of goals that they're working towards over 2023. So I see this as very bullish with each of the different kind of expansions that they look to do, and then finally getting to a point of the data value exchange. That's the big one, because that's the one where the businesses will start tying up the coins, and the coin then becomes deflationary and scarce, right? So that's going to be absolutely huge in the fourth quarter. So overall, really awesome update on the roadmap. Shout out to Hara for posting that, and for also the numerous posts following up with it. Just thought that was really awesome, right? So again, moving up here, the Jasmy management page also mentioned their achievements from 2022 and our plan for 2023. So if we go to this page, you can see the 2022 recap. If we go over here, this is the Medium page for Jasmy, and we zoom in here. Here's the 2022 recap, right? So all the little check marks on all of the different things that they accomplish, the Happiness Project, the strategy briefing session, 50 exchanges, 10 partners, 12 partners. The partners are going up throughout. The exchanges are going up throughout. The fan token platform, absolutely huge. DD point release, aka DD coin, right? Happiness Project moving along. So a lot of things were really moving for Jasmy in 2022, right? So I want to go ahead and go back. Let's keep on cruising up here because I think there was a little bit more. This one here. Let me go to this one from Deeds Nuts. Great screen name, by the way. So the Jasmy AI, artificial intelligence. The focus of this cooperation will be on how to use JNA's AI technology embedded device development capability to empower and upgrade the personal data locker provided by Jasmy. Now, this post here dated back, I want to say it was August 21 or so. So this wasn't a new post. But why it's relevant is they were talking about the AI, and I said, very relevant partnership with JNA as develop AI engine is listed as one of the goals in the new roadmap. So pretty awesome, right? Moving on. Jasmy Spaces call. We'll have another one this Sunday. Had one last Sunday. Had a great conversation. We're looking to have another good one this Sunday to really break down the 2023 roadmap. I'm sure a lot of people got a lot to say in that one. So really looking forward to it. If you got any questions, route them over to Zippy. He's the little DJ Muppet right here. He's kind of our filter for all the different questions that come in. So if you got any, send them his way. Moving on. We weren't done. Here's the second exchange listing for the week. So Stealth Exchange. And it says here, Jasmy is available for exchange on StealthX mobile app. So yet another exchange listing. Very bullish on that. Now, with those exchange listings coincided two updates here from Dip Metaverse where they released 100 million coins twice. So once on February 2nd and once on February 3rd. So as of right now, total circulating supply is roughly 46.6 billion, 93.2% of the max supply. Awesome, right? Lastly, the big thing I wanted to show here, posted by our friend Simon Greco, is we passed 44,000 holders for Mount Jasmy. So that's really awesome, right? Now, I wanted to come over to the chart to kind of show you the current chart, what it's looking like as of right now. Today is February 4th. So here's the current chart. We're kind of following these various trend lines. Everything's still trending pretty good overall. You know, if you look at kind of 2023 on, look at all the green bars we've got. And we've got some very large green bars. So some big time buying volume has been going on throughout. We've had a little bit of selling here and there with each leg up, which is kind of to be expected. You know, anybody who's, scalping profits kind of in and out, may not be a long-term holder. I would expect to see that. If I zoom out on the chart here, you can see with the stock RSI, we're kind of right in the middle. So we're not overbought, we're not oversold. We're kind of right, just sort of cruising in a good direction here. Looking down further at the market cipher B, you can see we're back to that kind of green inflow. We got a little bit of inflow going. We posted a green dot back on February 2nd, and we haven't had any red dots since. So we're still kind of trending in a upward direction, which is really important. Though a lot of people have kind of highlighted, I think in our group, Zippy in particular highlighted this, that this really matters for the big bull run, right? We gotta get as far as we can out of the hole now, so that when the big bull run really takes off, Jasmy could go even higher. So overall, still just a ton of opportunity here. If I kind of shrink this a little bit, you can see our blue line here is the 200-day moving average. Our red line there is the 20, the green line is the 50. We still got to get these to fully cross to be full-on bulls. So we got a ways to go because the blue line is all the way up at a penny. But it is possible we could be crossing that very soon. So overall, the market is really kind of doing pretty well right now. Cruising over to the Bitcoin chart, may as well kind of show you this a little bit as well. Here's what I see right now in the Bitcoin chart, and obviously this is relevant to Jasmy because the whole market rides Bitcoin because of Bitcoin pairs. So right now, where Bitcoin's trending, it's still kind of in a good spot right here. Right now, we're riding this sort of trend line right here. We had a bullish cross of the EMAs back on, what was that, January 27th. Then our next bullish cross would be with the 50-day crossing the 200. So if you kind of draw that out, maybe somewhere around here, I think I was saying in my last video that, that could be next weekend. Essentially, we get a bullish cross, which would mean the week following could be really heating up in the market. So looking forward to that. Everything by all accounts still is cruising along here. If we zoom out, you can see the green inflow. This is what I highlighted earlier. We still have some pretty good inflow here. Even though we kind of peaked a little bit, look at this. The RSI shows Bitcoin is oversold right now, right? So that means Bitcoin is due for a big run up even from here. So if you look at some of the other dips, I mean, where this could go, we could kind of do the same thing here, where we've bottomed out, maybe we pop up a little bit, and then boom, we take off somewhere next weekend, maybe right after next weekend is kind of what I'm seeing. So overall, the market as a whole is still cruising along great. The Jasmy chart's looking great. And with that, we'll wrap up the video now with some final thoughts about that 2023 roadmap. All right, so in today's final thoughts, I really just kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about that roadmap. So there are some really big items that are in there. First of all, the item was Secure PC English and the Avita partnership. That is absolutely huge, and that tags right into the 2026 KPIs, the 107 million users. India is a massive market. We're specifically targeting, India, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, some really big countries, really important areas in Asia where this could expand significantly Jasmy's market share, right? So I think that's absolutely huge. And as I said a little earlier in the video, we want to sort of think that, as a society, it's like, oh, we can already do this, right? Can't we? And it's like, actually, we can't. we can't do this, right? So Jasmy, what they're offering here in this product of Secure PC is absolutely huge. The ability to real-time monitor the desktop of a remote worker, to store that data decentralized, securely, to get inferences from the data, to manage the team. It makes so much sense in so many different ways. Hara even said there are multiple partner businesses already using it. So I think that is an absolutely huge nugget that is in the first quarter part of the roadmap. Really big deal, right? All throughout the roadmap, we talked about the different ideas of expanding the fan token app. As I've said all along, I think Sagantosu is really kind of like the beta test, right? What we're trying to see is, can it work with them, and how can we develop it? Once they really develop this into something awesome, then they can roll it out to any sports team all throughout Asia. I would fully expect the Nippon Ham Fighters to probably be the next one, right? So we know that Hokkaido Ballpark is opening. That wasn't even on the list of the roadmap, which is crazy, because I see that as a really big deal. The Jasmy is part of the Hokkaido Ballpark with the entry-exit system. The Nippon Ham Fighters coach, Big Boss, has the promotion where he was paid in Jasmy to promote through BitPoint. There's so many different connections there that it's interesting. That wasn't even in the roadmap, right? But nonetheless, that's a really big deal that they're looking at all the different ways they can expand the fan token app all throughout 2023. That's obviously big. And then, the thing that I think is maybe the biggest that, was probably maybe easy to overlook in this roadmap with all these different bullets is the data exchange marketplace. That is massive. That is the part that kind of brings in all the businesses, right? So in some of my other videos, I've covered, different AMAs and whatever, where we've showed that what the businesses are interested in is platinum data. That's what Jasmy's selling, platinum data, right? Smart marketing, platinum data, more bang for your buck. You think of, like here in the US, let's say a company pays, I don't know, $25 million for a 30-second Super Bowl ad, right? Are they really getting bang for the buck? No, they're not. I mean, yeah, the company is out there on the Super Bowl, but are they specifically targeting who would use that product? Not really. The Super Bowl demographics are kind of like all over the place, right? What you can do with platinum data, you can do very targeted marketing is really what it comes down to, because you're getting all of these different data points from somebody, then you're applying AI to it. That, by the way, in the roadmap, they are further developing out through the first half of this year. That's the plan. I would imagine that they have been probably working on that AI for quite a while. And as I've said, their ecosystem hasn't quite been ready yet. I think that's the part of the hasn't quite been ready, is the AI part. So they got to further expand that. But when you look at what AI can be moving forward into the future, like that Chat GPT is just sort of the first big instance of this. Everybody's going to look at it like, I remember when Chat GPT came out. It's kind of like I can look back and say, I can remember when AOL Online came out. Right? That was like the first instance of getting on the internet, right? Now we've got this Chat GPT. It's like, well, that's like the first instance of real AI that a lot of people can use, something that's open source that's out there, right? And then you think about Jasmy using AI inferences with specific to IoT and IoT devices. There's so many different ways that they could go with this. The AI is extremely important. And, when you look at the team at Jasmy, I think they have a great team to develop the AI part. I mean, they've got all the connections they need. If they need to get some more hired guns, aka consultants, bring them in and have them help out, they could always do that. There's just so much that could come out of that. So that part right there is really, really exciting, developing the AI engine, hopefully within the first half of this year, building up to, at the end of the year, the data exchange marketplace, all right? So overall, I personally was very pleased with this roadmap. I've said it before that I thought the 2022 roadmap was kind of generic, not really specific, didn't really, give me any big goals. It was just sort of like, yeah, we want 50 exchanges, 60 exchanges, 70 exchanges. It didn't really, I was kind of looking for a little more than that, right, for the 2022 roadmap. The 2023 roadmap is very detailed, and I like that Hara also added some commentary with it to go along. So that was super awesome. Big shout out to Hara for doing that. I'm glad they posted it. I was hoping it was coming out in February, and then sure enough, we sort of confirmed it like a couple of days right before it came out, and then it dropped. So big deal on the roadmap. In terms of the overall market right now, we're still trending in a good direction. We still have that money inflow into Bitcoin. As I've said, after next weekend, the market could go on a little run here. It's kind of how it's looking at the moment. So it's sort of teeing up for that. I can see that in the macro trends. So overall, it's an exciting year. I think 2023 is going to be a really exciting year, whereas 2022 ended up kind of being a big bummer overall. But it was a good year to kind of lay the groundwork for what's coming in 2023. So big deal on the roadmap. Really excited about it. Really excited about what transpires throughout this year. All right. So if you enjoyed today's video, as always, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I am also on Twitter at KIR Finance. You can find me there. You can reach out to me. If you click on the QR code here, that takes you to my website. I've got my blog on there with all kinds of relevant articles and things. Not always cryptocurrency. I do talk about other things too, like real estate and job stuff and whatever. That's in there. I've got some other things. We got the Patreon page, the merch shop. If you want to check us out, check out any of those things. Any of your support for the channel is always greatly appreciated. And lastly, for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.